Hey everyone, welcome to the new session Getting Started with Machine Learning. Before start this session, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with the idea of Great Learning Academy. Here you will basically get 80 plus free courses, and after completing your course you can claim your certificate. So I will just move you through in the website once. So if you want to skill up yourself, you can do it. You can just go for using lots of learning materials you will get over here. That is also for free, and after the main catch is that you will get a certificate, right? And please guys, let me know I am audible or not. If I am audible, then please put a yes to the live chat for that we can start the session, right? So if I just want to show you what are the courses we have, so here are the courses domain you have: data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, IT software, cloud computing, marketing, finance, right? All the courses you can see. You just need to do one thing. You just need to go and register for it, right? So this is how you can start your learning, and that is also for free of cost. And yeah, the main thing is like you will get lots of learning material, and you can actually skill up and getting pro on this particular part. So guys, this particular course is in English, not in Hindi. So yeah, some of you are asking about that. So this is pretty much about Great Learning, and before start the session, I just want to clarify that where you will get all the session details for this particular session. You will get all the session details over here. You can see there is a session called Getting Started with Machine Learning. It comes under upcoming live sessions, right? So if you want to use this particular material what I am going to use, and the code file, dataset, everything you will get over here. You just need to register for there, go there, and you will just download all the materials for this particular session. So yeah, let's get started with the session then. Right, so how many of you have idea about machine learning? So I just want to understand that what do you think about machine learning, guys? Is it too tough to learn, or it's something very interesting for you? If you can give me a quick heads up on that, then we can start it. Okay, I can see I'm audible. That's pretty cool. If I'm not wrong, there is no other noise problem is also there, right? Okay. So I just want to understand how many of you actually have the idea of machine learning. So give me the answer. In that time, let me just go you through for the agenda. Harsha is saying I don't know. Okay. So guys, if you don't know machine learning, I should say this will be most exciting session for you. So in this particular session, what we are going to do like what is machine learning. We will try to understand that why do we need it, man, right? This is really why it's getting the popularity. I mean, if we go for any particular reason, that time they must say, hey, data science are booming right now, or machine learning are booming right now. But why? What is the key behind it? We will try to understand that, and we will have a look at what's the process to build a model in machine learning. Machine learning, some of you are saying it is interesting. Pratigya is saying not exactly. Okay, I have idea of data science and ML. That's really nice, Shantanu. Machine learning algorithms find natural patterns in data that generates insights and help you make better decision predictions. That's really pretty cool, Lukesh. You are right. Yeah. Yeah. So welcome, Kashyap. I can see you are a regular one who actually try to. I hope we actually able to help you out on your journey with machine learning and data science. Shantanu is saying I'm here to learning new algorithms. So Shantanu, for this particular session, we will start with the machine learning. A quick heads up with that. Yeah, we are going to talk about one particular, some statistical concepts, and also we will talk about one ML algorithm, that is logistic regression, and I will give you a little touch about NIF bias as well. Right, so these are the two things we are going to learn, and also we will learn about how machine learning comes. I mean, if someone is really new to this, they also can actually enjoy it, right? If you are from college, if you are from school, that's not the problem. I think you will you will like the session, right? Please do let us know in the comment as well. So let's get started with the video itself, the session. So first we are going to talk about why do we need machine learning. So it's just a quick heads up on that. And again, if you really like the video, please do subscribe Great Learning and also like the video. For that we get motivated, and we will come up for that we can actually come up with the new, more exciting topics as well. And please do let us know about your ideas about what you guys want to learn from us in the comment section. right? So let's have a look at why do we need machine learning. So the main reason that we need machine learning, so the main reason is basically data. So you will ask me, so how data is related to machine learning, right? So suppose you have a company, you have your own company, and you try to, like, if you have your own company, always you try to understand, hey, I just want to make my company bigger, I just want to make my customers satisfied, I want to understand what will be the sales for upcoming, upcoming year, upcoming months. So all of your questions can be answered by machine learning. Can you even imagine? Like a human, I cannot say a human cannot do, but a machine can do these things. Isn't it really interesting? Yes, that is the thing, right? Your data is nothing but your company information. Like maybe you have a company for your food company, or you have a company like Ola, Uber, like Zomato, Swiggy, right? So what you have, and guys, don't spam in the live chat. This is my request, honest request to you all, right? I will try to answer all of your questions, all of your doubts. Please keep tuned with us and don't spam, right? So in this case, the thing is, like, we will try to understand whatever the data we have with us. So being a company, we have the data of what are the customers we have, the customer, the customer are from which background, right? And what is the address of that customer, what they like to have, and what they are ordering. Now when we try to understand what they are ordering for food, suppose we are taking, so in this case, what's happening, we try to understand what are the customers we have in the same category. So I think you all have the idea about Amazon, Flipkart, and Swiggy also does. Like if you like some restaurants, same similar restaurant they used to recommend you. How they do that? Basically, what actually they are trying to do, you don't need to go for manual searching. What they are doing with a good rating, they are just trying to suggest you good restaurants, because they try to make their customers happy. That is also done by machine learning. Can you imagine? Yes. So this is how this huge data we are getting right now, they try to use those data. By using those data, they try to make their sales forecasting. Now I will give you an idea. Right, now I will give you an idea about how they are going to forecast their sales. Suppose they have their history of data for last 1 year. What is their sales? What are the restaurants are maybe in high demand, right? In that case, what they can do, they can give a good discounts on those particular restaurants, and they can say their they can say their customer, hey, we are going to give you a pretty cool what to say, that's discounts, please avail it and please order from this particular restaurants, right? Being a customer, if you are a foodie, you will love to do that, right? Why don't you go for using those coupons? Yeah, this is how they are trying to make more sales, and for using those technique, they can actually forecast their sales, right? So this is why we need machine learning. I think you got the idea. What are the key points, like whatever the question you have for your particular company? Maybe you are a very you don't have any outlet, but you have an online cake pastry baker, you are, right? You don't have online, like you don't have offline outlet. That time what you can do, use this machine learning techniques, and you can make your customer base, and you can also do a good profit out of it, right? But how to do that? Again, doing that, you need to use some technique. So those techniques are nothing but machine learning concepts. We try to understand our customers, we try to understand our data, and use them using machine learning. So I hope you guys understand why do we need machine learning. Now we will have a look at what is machine learning. Is it a whole total process, or it's something just a method, right? So let's have a look of what is machine learning. So guys, do you have any doubt till so far, like for this? Yeah, Shibi, Rajendran, we are going to answer, I'm going to answer that how does machine learning works. Yes, Kashyap, Netflix and Prime too, right? Hi Priyanshu, welcome for the first lecture. I think you will like it, and guys, please, if you like it, then please do let us know, right? Okay, cool. Now we will have a look at what is machine learning. So basically we can say machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. But what is artificial intelligence, right? Shantanu, the whole session is about machine learning. We are going to talk about few algorithms, and we are going to do one project as well. Yes, Shivi Rajandan, I am going to give you the cases of machine learning. right? Okay, so what is machine learning we were talking about? It's part of artificial intelligence. We all quite used to with this term artificial intelligence, but some of we have idea about what is artificial intelligence, some of we don't have idea what is artificial intelligence. Let me tell you what is AI. AI is basically an umbrella under which we have lots of domain, we have lots of techniques. Why? Using those data, right? So whatever the artificial intelligence is, everything is comes with data, right? So in this case, machine learning is also a part of artificial intelligence. If you think you know machine learning, then you know artificial intelligence. That's not the case, because there are lots of things, guys, we have under AI, right? Right, so in this case, you can see this is something machine learning help us to use our data to train our machine itself, right? Our machine starts learning. I mean, there is a, you know, there is a meme I have, like I saw that human got hooked and machines are getting started learning, right? Yes, so this is how your machine will start learning, and being a human, your work will be less, right? Okay, so in this case, what's happening, we will give our data. So we first need to make our data, then we will give our data to our machine. Our machine will understand those data, will train with this data, and after that, whenever you are trying to give a new data to your machine will work for you, right? So this is how your machine learning works. Now, under machine learning, there are few algorithms. We will talk about that in the later in the section, but now, for now, time being, you can understand there are a mechanism we have which actually help our machine to learn, right? Then when our machine is going to learn, and it's learn basically, it will help us, it will work for us, like the way we will do the sales forecasting, maybe we will do the recommendation part, right? So this is how our machine learning works, and this is what machine learning is all about, right? So now if we have a look at how machine learning works, right? So there is a proper life cycle for being to, like, to make a machine learning model. But what is that particular life cycle, right? What are the steps we have, right? So I am not going to say theoretically what are the steps we have. I will give you an example and case scenario, and from there you will understand why do we need these steps, right? There is no hard and fast rule, you have to maintain it. But yeah, if you want your machine will work, like a human, you have to make these steps, right? So this is what you need to understand, what are the steps we have in machine learning. So first we need to understand the business problem. Now you will ask me, what business problem you are talking about, right? So the main reason, right? So the main reason of making a business problem and solving it, that's what you need to do using data science, using machine learning, using artificial intelligence. So if you don't have objective, how can you solve it, right? So everyday life, everyone's life is full of problems, and we try to just solve it. But how to solve it? Suppose you have a business of your own. Now you said, hey, I want to hire a data scientist. But why do I need to hire? Why do I need to pay a huge amount to the data scientist? Yes, because I'm going to pay because I have few problems, and that can be solved by the data scientist, right? So how to do that? In that case, they need to understand the business problem. Now you are the data scientists are hired, so basically to solve their problem. Okay, how to do that? Now they give you some problems. Maybe they said, hey, our customers are not satisfied lot, our customers are complaining us, or maybe you will say, hey, we just understand that how our customer base is, right? How it's growing, what is the sales is going to happen. There are lots of things comes under this particular part. So when we talk about data scientists, lots of things are actually connected to it. So the business analyst, data architect, maybe you can think of what a business analyst does, what a data analyst does, right? They are all they're all connected to each other. They're like only one focus they have, to make a business excellent, right? So this is how this whole machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, everything works. Now when you have a business problem, to solve the customer problem and to make a good customer base, that time maybe you just need to make a recommendation system, or just to give customers a good coupons, a good right the good coupon, or you are just giving some good exciting offers for that your customers will come, right? Yes, so this is what will be your business problem. When you know what is your objective to solve, you have to go for data acquisitions. What is data acquisition? I know these terms are little hard to understand, but trust me, they are really easy to understand. The data acquisition is nothing but your collection of data. Maybe your company is going to give, hey, this is our data, you can use our data as much as you can. But trust me, the more data you have, the more information you have, right? So in this case, what you will do, you will use the company's data and also try to use, there are lots of free repositories we have from where you can actually take those data. So after you collected all the data, but this data are not in a structured way, right? So obviously when your companies are trying to store the data, those datas are in basically in a very messy way. Now you have data, but you don't know how to use them. There are no use, right? That time you have to go for data cleaning. So the data cleaning is basically going to help you to solve your problem. Data cleaning is going to give you a good data. What is good data now? The good data is nothing but, okay, the good data are nothing but your data which is usable. So now when we talked about the usable data, do you have any idea how much pricey it is? Like when you make a data in a proper, in a proper way, you can use it. That time your data will become very pricey. In fact, you can sell your data. Do you know that? I mean, selling your data, you will actually profit a lot, right? So why this data are so pricey? Because when your data is in a messy way, they are not in use. You cannot use them. But when you actually clean those data, and it takes the most time out of it, guys, right? When you actually clean those data, your data is ready to use. After you use your data, you have to go for exploratory data analysis. What is exploratory data analysis? Exploratory data analysis, in short, known as EDA. We use some statistical concepts to start with our data. How can we start with our data? Suppose you have a data, clean data, but you don't have any idea about data, like what are the things you need to keep in your data to make a model out of it. What are the things is not need? So maybe I can give you an example of that. You try to do the sales prediction, right? There is no point of maybe for food you are trying to do these things. So now there is a column for the particular person is from, what to say, there's some should be the contact number, email is going to work. What do you think that's not relevant? Maybe what is this past history for this particular customer, right? So what is the past history for the customer? This is not relevant for your data, right? What you need, the customer is from which background, right? And customer is for maybe we can say what actually customer likes to have. These are the thing actually needed for you, because you want to make a prediction on this particular customer's food habit, what this cluster this customer is actually like going through, right? So these are the thing you need. So when you do this exploratory data analysis, you can actually analyze your customers, you can actually analyze your data, right? When you actually analyze your data, what can you do? You can understand what type of algorithm you can use for this particular data. We will talk about that, whether the type of data we have as well, right? So when we talk about data, it's just not data again. The data term itself is a very less, it's just a data you feel. But trust me guys, there are lots of things, right, we have in data. Yes, Priyadarshini, right, veg or non-vegetarian, these things are actually needed when you try to analyze your customers, right? So in this case, we actually try to understand the machine learning algorithm, what algorithm you can put for your particular data. When your data is ready, okay, you use a machine learning algorithm. My data is ready, I have my algorithm. So basically you are making a cake, right? When you're making a cake, and that time you have your ingredients, the baking, everything is done. Now what do you need to do? You just need to bake your cake. So samely, you just need to train your model. After you train your model, your model is actually same as the human can do the analysis, right? But wait, your model is doing good in the training data. Now I need to give a new data to my model, and I want to see how my model is going to react with the new data, right? So in order to do that, we have to test our model, right? So that time, when you can see, when you give a really new data to your model and your model is ready, your model is saying, hey, whatever the data you are going to give, I am ready to analyze them and I'm pretty good at it. You can say my model is ready and you can deploy my model. What is deploying part is basically if someone wants to again use your model, they can use it. For the time being, you can understand that deploying the model is nothing but if someone wants to use your model, they can use it, right? So you can actually contribute something to your community. Okay, so this is something, the whole total life cycle of machine learning. Any doubt till so far, guys? I will answer your questions and then we will go for the most popular programming languages. We have Python, SAS, Java. These are the things we are going to talk, and little bit about Python, and then we will jump into the project. Any doubt till so far? I can see ma'am, what are the languages in machine learning? Okay, so the languages using in machine learning, Python and R. And if you want to there are lots of things. Again, maybe you will have a lots of data, you need to know SQL for that, and there are lots of things. Why machine learning plays a key role in data science? Again, right? Question from Lakshmi. So Lakshmi, when you have data, when you process them, right? When you process the data and you try to make a model out of it, right? You actually try to use those data. You need to use some algorithms, and those algorithms are coming from machine learning. That is why we actually need to, you can say, this machine learning plays a key role in data science. I think you got your answer. Is ML is important and can be a great skill for a data analyst to do like data scientist? Yes, for a data analyst, again, don't discriminate between data analyst and data scientist. Data analysts try to make a report out of the data. Data scientists look at those data and try to use an algorithm out of it. Just think, if you have idea about data analysis and you know how this machine learning works, you will become someone who is very pricey itself, right? So yeah, obviously having an understanding of machine learning is always great, guys, right? I hope I answer all the questions, and if you have any question, please let me know. Yes, Radhika, Python is very easy. And guys, for you, I just want to inform you, we came up with a tutorial of real-time face detection. If you really want to do that, please check our channel, you will get it, and I think you will like it. And please do let us know on the comment as well, right? So that is the thing. And yeah, this is pretty much about the new tutorial we have came up. And for machine learning also, we have a lots of tutorial, right? We have machine learning, each and every algorithm explained over there. So here we are going to talk about the getting started with machine learning. But trust me, if you want to learn machine learning free of cost, you can go to Great Learning Academy, you can do the courses, and also there is a whole playlist we have for machine learning. You will get that in the live chat also, you can redirect to there as well, right? So okay, fine. So now if we try to understand what is Python, Python is a very high level popular object oriented language. So I don't want to give a lot time on Python, but trust me, it's a very easy language. If we start talking with Python, it hardly take maybe for you 6 to 7 days. If you don't have any programming knowledge, that also it will not gonna take a lot time. Because why? The reason is Python doesn't any syntaxes, right? So when we talk about the syntaxes, for few languages we have, there are lots of syntaxes you need to understand. But in the case of Python, it's just a normal English language, right? So if you know English, you can start with Python, right? You just need to maintain the indentation. So yeah, these are the basic reasons of why should you learn Python. There is no point of explaining those things, but these are the things for that you can actually go for Python, right? Okay. Now if you just want to try to understand why Python is so popular, the main reason of being popular, Python is being popular, the reason is basically the largest community for learners and collaborators. So yeah, here maybe I am just trying to make you understand about Python, but there are lots of people who doesn't have any proper instructor or proper guider to guide them. In that case, if they go for their community in Python, they can actually get lots of help from there, right? So Harshit, Harshit, we are not going to use Django because Django is a framework for web development and lots of other stuffs, but we are going to cover machine learning in this particular video, right? So how many of you actually knows Python? If you can give me a quick heads up on that. And guys, if you really like the session, please do hit like. I can see there is 109 people are watching and just 53 likes, guys. Right, so if you really like it, please do like subscribe Great Learning, and please do let us know your new thoughts, what are the things you want to learn from us in the comment itself, right? So now we will talk about how can you install Python. So installing Python is very easy. You just need to go to python.org, their actual official website, and from there you can install Python directly. Okay, so there are few ID we have integrated development environment for for Python. Like we have PyCharm, we have Anaconda, we have Google Colab, but in this particular case we are going to use Google Colab, right? How many of you actually knows about Google Colab? We do have a tutorial on Google Colab, and you can check them out if you don't know Google Colab, because there are lots of exciting features you will get in Google Colab, and this is basically for AI researchers. If you want to become a artificial intelligence researcher, then you should go for Google Colab, because when you have a lots of programming and that will need high computational power, that time you have to go for Google Colab. That is also free of cost. I will show you what are the features we have, but not in detail. But if you want to know in detail, then please for that, if you want to know in detail, for that please do check our video on Google Colab, right? Okay, so this is pretty much about it. And the data manipulation library we use in Python, the main is Numpy and pandas, right? So if we talk, okay, I can see few questions. Let me just answer them and then we will resume this particular part. Ma'am, please talk in Hindi. I cannot. I'm so sorry. Kulkarni, Varat Kulkarni. I'm very sorry for that. So some of you guys are saying, I don't know Google Colab. That's totally fine. You can go and check out our video on Google Colab. I think that will help you out. Okay, some of you saying I use PyCharm. Harsha Priya said, yes ma'am, I know Google Colab. That's really fine. Any other doubts, guys? I will give a few minutes to clear your doubts. Any other doubts? Then we will talk about the data manipulation library in Python. Any other doubts? No, I cannot see any other doubts. So let's have a look at what is data manipulation in Python, right? So in this case, data manipulation is nothing but again a technique to manipulate your data, to clean your data, to again what we were talking about, right? So in this case, basically we use two particular library. One is Numpy, one is yes, Shandanu, you can use Jupyter Notebook. That's not the problem. Pratik, it's a nice question. I think if you have a good skill set, you don't need ML to get a job. You will get a job normally. Okay, applying ML in wireless communication. Guys, I really don't have any idea about how can we use ML for wireless communication. I really don't have idea about that. I am also from EC background, but trust me, I don't know how can we use email for wireless communication. Okay, right. So we have talked about this particular thing, that what is data manipulation in Python. We talked about what is data manipulation. The main two library we use for data manipulation, that is Numpy and pandas. So what is Numpy? Numpy is nothing but numerical Python, right? Okay, the pandas. Okay, fine. So you can understand Numpy is nothing but numerical Python, and pandas is basically a data manipulation tool, right? So in this case we use Numpy for for numerical, if you want to do some just computational numeric calculation, right? That time we go for using Numpy. And pandas is something when you want to store your data, we try to manipulate our data, we try to understand how our data is distributed, right? Those functions you will get in pandas, right? So this is pretty much about Numpy and pandas. And again, if you really want to check out what is Numpy pandas in detail, we do have lots of videos for that. Please do check out on that. I am just trying to give you a blocks, right, from where you can understand here I need to start from machine learning, here I need to start from Python. So first you need to learn Python few library, then you need to learn machine learning few algorithms, and then you can go for making your own model on that, right? I think that these particular stones will help you to understand how to get started with, right? Okay, so now as we talked about the difference between traditional and machine learning, so the basic difference between traditional programming and machine learning, I will give you that. Before that, I just want to hear from you guys. What do you think? What's the difference between when we do programming normally versus when we do programming in machine learning? Give me a quick heads up on that. What do you think? I mean, we have talked about machine learning. We know what is traditional programming. So what do you think that what's the basic difference between both of them? If you can just give me a heads up on that. I will wait for a few more seconds and then we will jump into the next one. Right, so I cannot see any answers till so far, but the basic difference between traditional programming and machine learning is in traditional programming, every time you have to write a code, and this is so pathetic, guys, but in the case of machine learning, you just need to write code for the once, right? The code basically nothing but the algorithms. You have to use the algorithm. You don't even need to write the algorithm. Can you think how easy it is to start with? You have lots of library just to write this algorithm I'm gonna use, because you need to know this algorithm concepts behind it, and you said, hey, I'm gonna call this particular one and I'm gonna use it. That's all you need to do. That too for one time, right? When your model is get trained, you just need to give your data and your model will work for you, right? So this is something for traditional programming. You need to do everything from the scratch for each and every time. But in the case of machine learning, you can start from just giving the data and getting the output without doing anything, right? So this is how these two are different. Okay, so now if we talked about the types of machine learning we have basically three types of machine learning. One is supervised learning, one is unsupervised learning, one is reinforcement learning. What do you think? What is supervised learning? The name itself explaining a lot of things about the learning procedure. What do you think about what is supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning, and what is reinforcement learning? If you can give me a idea, like, ma'am, I think this is supervised learning, right, and this is something unsupervised learning, and this is reinforcement learning. What do you think about what are these three learnings are, right? How can you actually differentiate? So yeah, this is the basics of machine learning, and these are the things you have to understand before getting started with machine learning, right? Okay, let me have a look at what do you think about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Yes, Kashyap, you are right. I can understand you are learning from us for a long time. You have a good understanding about that. Right, so basically what is supervised learning? Supervised learning is nothing but when you have a supervisor, right? So when you have a supervisor, how will you have a supervisor? Is something that you will really have a supervisor or some technique again? So the supervision is something when your data have a label, okay? Let me show you what is actually I try to make you understand by when you when your data has the label. Right, so suppose we are going to use this particular data set, right? Let me just show you here. Let me make it little bigger, right? So I think you guys can see this. Okay, so now if you just look at the data, okay, this is your data for diabetes prediction. How to do that? So we are going to do a diabetics prediction, but we need to understand data. But how can we understand the data? In this case, you can understand there is column we have pregnancy column, glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, diabetes pedigree function, age, and outcome. So what is this outcome actually? This outcome is nothing but the class, your particular data, your particular person has diabetic or not. So to understand, in order to understand that particular person has diabetic or not, these are the information you have. How many time your patient was pregnant, what is the glucose, what is the blood pressure, what is the skin thickness, right? So these are the information you have. Based on that, this is the outcome. So this outcome is nothing but the result you can understand, right? Right. So in this case, when you have a result in your data set, this will work as a supervisor to your model, right? I hope you understand why this is called as supervised learning. This is called as supervised learning for that. When you have data but you don't have result in your data, right? For in very simple word, I'm trying to trying to clear you basically what is the basic difference between supervised and unsupervised one. There is a very fine line between both of them, right? So when we talk about this unsupervised one, we don't have result in our data, so you will not have this particular column, this outcome column, right? When you don't have it, what will happen? You just have the information and your machine will try to cluster different patients, right? So in this case, what will happen? It will basically try to learn by itself. So there will be no one to say you are right, you are wrong, right? So this is the basic difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. When it comes to reinforcement learning, let me give you an example of reinforcement learning. So how many of you have have learned about or heard about Tesla self-driving car? If you can give me a quick heads up on that, how many of you have idea about Tesla self-driving car? It's actually a self-driving car. Any idea about Tesla self-driving car? Yes, Aditi, supervised equals to label data, unsupervised equals to unlabeled data in a technical term itself, right? How many of you have idea about Tesla self-driving car? Okay, so if you don't have idea about Tesla self-driving car, but in this case they have used reinforcement learning. What is reinforcement learning? Reinforcement learning basically, okay, yes, auto driving. Okay, I know, I do, ma'am. Okay, right. Thank you, Kashyap. I hope you guys are really liking the session. If you really like, please do hit like the session and do subscribe Great Learning. Okay, so in this case, reinforcement learning, what it does, when your model is working perfectly, you will give a reward to your model. You will say, hey, you are really working fine, and that's why I'm going to give you a reward. But your model, when your model is going to do something wrong, you will say, I'm going to punish you, right? And you will say there will be a penalty for your model, right? So these are the three types of machine learning we have, right? Okay, right. So this is what you can understand, the types of machine learning we have. Now, if we talked about supervised learning, I have shown you that's label data we need to have for supervised learning, and you will have a supervisor in your data itself. When you have a result in your data, this is nothing but your supervisor. Now, we will talk about one particular algorithm. But before start the algorithm, how many of you are actually interested to learn this algorithm to start with a new project? I will do this little faster, but again, if you really want to understand this particular algorithm in a more better way, what you need to do, you just need to go to Great Learning, and there we will get the proper whole tutorial for this particular algorithm. So after this session, if you really feel like you are energized and you can just try to understand this particular algorithm, go and check that out. I think that will help you to start your journey with machine learning, right? Okay, so guys, I just want to understand from you, how many of you are actually excited to learn logistic regression? Okay, Vikram, Shantanu. Okay, fine. So what is logistic regression? Logistic regression is also a part of supervised learning, that we all know, we understand. So it's basically you can use this particular algorithm when you have a label data. Basically, label is nothing but when you have result in your data, right? Right. So in this case, what we are going to do, this logistic regression is also a part of supervised learning classification algorithm. So it's nothing but it's a classification algorithm. It is used to predict the probability, right? So it does not predict any particular number. It predicts the probability of a target variable and the nature of the target dependent variable. So now will ask me, hey, you are actually giving me lots of bombastic words and I am not gonna learn this. But wait, I am making it little clear for you guys. So if we go back to the data set, you can see this is your target variable. The result, the outcome basically will be your target variable. Where you have 1, where you have 0. 1 is for when your particular patient has diabetic. So that time, Khushbu is asking what is the difference between deep learning. I will give you answer what is like deep learning because it was my forte and I love deep learning. So yeah, I will give you that idea. Just wait for few more minutes. We are almost done with the algorithm, and we will just have a look at the project little bit, and then we will talk about your doubts, guys. Right? Will that work for you? I think that will work for you. Right. So in this case, if you look at this outcome, right, you can see this 1 1 1 1 0 0 0. This is nothing but when you have 1 as a result, you can say this particular person is diabetic. When you have 0, you can say, okay, this person doesn't have any diabetic problem. Right? So in this case, you have 2 variable, 2 target variable, right? One is 1, one is 0, right? So in this case, you can understand. So basically, you just need to predict this particular class, right? So whenever we try to understand logistic regression, what we will give to our model, we will give our model to the information and separately these classes, these 2 classes, a person is diabetic, a person is not diabetic. Right? So when you are actually giving this particular class and you are trying to figure it out the class, you are trying to predict the class, we will use logistic regression. This type of data set is known as discrete type of data set. Right? So there is total, you can see there is 2 type of data set. One is labeled data set, one is unlabeled data set. Under labeled data set, you have 2 types. One is continuous value data set, one is discrete value data set. So when we talk about this 2 particular class, that time it will be a discrete data set. When you have a data set where you will have suppose a weight or height, right, a continuous value, that time it will become your continuous value data set. So for now being, you don't need to understand all these things, but yeah, for going further, if you really want to continue your journey with machine learning, you need to have this idea with you. Right? Khushbu, like deep learning is not part of machine learning again. Deep learning is total different scenario from the machine learning. So first you need to learn machine learning. From there you have to go for deep learning. Deep learning may we use lots of other algorithms, lots of other techniques. So if you know about object detection, so if you know about face recognition, not the face recognition, emotion recognition, gender recognition, we did lots of videos or session on this, right? You can check them out on that. But yes, when we try to do some kind of advanced type of part of thing, we try to use deep learning for that. Right? So yeah, for now timing, you can understand there is a whole structure like a human brain, and we try to use them to solve our problem. In the case of machine learning, we don't have any idea about human brains, right? But yeah, they try to replicate a human brains using deep learning. I hope it's give you a proper idea about what is deep learning and what's the difference between machine learning and deep learning. Right? We do have few problems with machine learning that we can solve with deep learning. Right? For the time being, you can understand this is about deep learning. Yeah, sentiment analysis, Kashyap, we can do, but using deep learning, I would prefer to do that. Right? Okay. So now you can see there is something called sigmoid function we have in logistic regression, which is equals to, I hope you guys, if you are from science background, you should have heard this term sigmoid function, that is equals to 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus value. Right? So yeah, this is pretty much about logistic regression, and yeah, we have talked about lots of types of machine learning, and let's get started with the project. Okay, so diabetes prediction using Python, we are going to do that. I think you guys are really excited to do that, because I am really excited to help you out with how to do this project, because there are lots of things comes into the time when we do the project and theoretical part. Right? Any doubt till so far for the theory part? Then I will explain it, and then we will jump into the diabetics prediction using Python. Any doubt till so far, guys? I will wait for a few more seconds for you. Okay, so we are going to use Google Colab here. So alpha, if I'm not wrong, yeah, alpha. So basically AI includes both. It's the sub part of AI. Right. So in this case, if we talked about diabetes database prediction, so we get this data set from Kaggle itself. So Kaggle, if you ask me, Kaggle, we are going to come up with a session. We are going to come up with basically a live session. What is Kaggle? How to get started with Kaggle? So for now, just a heads up, Kaggle is a platform where actually you can go. You can use lots of data set. Right, you can use lots of data set and you can just make your own project over there. You can go for challenges over there, right? So yeah, this is pretty much about Kaggle, and this is the link given over here. So if you click on the link itself, it will redirect to you for the Kaggle, for the data set. So anyway, you will get all the data set, all the session material, all the PPT, right? Everything you will get in Great Learning Academy. I don't think you need to go for putting extra effort to do that. Yes, we will share the code with you guys. For that, you again have to go to Great Learning Academy. You can check. You have to go to Great Learning Academy and you have to register for this particular live session, and then only you will get everything over there, right? I don't understand your question, Dhiraj. If you can explain me in a proper way. So again, this is Google Colab. As I said, I will give you a little walkthrough about Google Colab. So just write Google Colab. For that, you don't need to install anything. The main thing why I love Google Colab. Yes, Shantanu, if you want, you can use Jupyter Notebook. That's not the problem. Okay, Vamshi is asking what's the difference between... Okay, I will give you the answer, guys. I will give you the answer. Let me just start with the project with little hurry, because we are running out of time. It's already 4:50 and we need to complete the session by 5. So let me just quick give you through that what's the project we are going to do. In this case, you can see we have written Google Colab, and just click on new notebook, right? So that's all you need to do to start with Google Colab. Okay, you just don't need to do any installation. You don't need to go for any, if you don't have a high computational laptop or desktop, then also you can do this particular thing that is actually planned by Google for the AI researchers. So Mamuni Priyadarshini, okay, fine. So Priyadarshini, the thing is it's up to you which one you want to go for. For my case, I love Google Colab because all the features they have given, right? Fine. So this is how you can start with Google Colab. And if you really want to upload a dataset, the dataset we are going to use here, if you can see, there is a box sign structure is there. You can see there's a files is coming. When your kernel is connected, it's initializing, it's connected. Now if you just click over this upload one, click over here, it will automatically redirect to you to your local system. From there you can upload the dataset over here, right? Okay, right. So this is pretty much about the dataset. This is pretty much about Google Colab. So the dataset we are going to use, you can see we have pregnancy column, glucose, blood pressure, insulin, BMI, diabetes, and all those things. So now we are going to import Numpy and pandas. As we said, we are going to use Numpy and pandas for data manipulation. So just let me execute that. And also we use Matplotlib and Seaborn for data visualization, right? So yeah, you can do that. Now we are going to use a function called pd.readcsv. Why do we need it? So basically we do pd.readcsv and then we need to give the path of the dataset. But how this .readcsv going to work? So this .readcsv function is nothing but going to read your comma separated value. So I think you guys have quite familiar with what is CSV file. CSV files are nothing but comma separated values. So when we have dataset, most of them you will get in CSV format. Maybe some of them you will get in Excel. That can be also read using pandas. So you can see we have written pd.readcsv. Now as we have uploaded our dataset, from here if you click in these 3 dots, right? if you click over there, you will get an option called copy path. Right, you can copy your dataset path and you have to put that over here. When you put that over here, it will automatically take your dataset and it will store your dataset into data variable. Right, so if you just try to understand that your data is actually loaded or not, in this case what you need to do, you just need to use data.head function. So let me make it little bigger for you. If you just use data.head, what actually it is going to return, it's going to return the first 10 rows of your data. Right, so the first 10 rows, and if you just don't write 10, if you just give data.head, it will return the first 5 rows of your data. In default, .head and .tail function used to check how your data is from the beginning and from the ending. Right, the .tail is nothing but going to let me just write it for you. Okay, it's already there. So basically .tail we use for like getting the last 5 rows of your data set. Right, so this is how your data.head, data.tail, read CSV function works in pandas. Now if you try to understand the shape of the data set, you just, what is the shape of the data set again? Shape of the data set is nothing but how many columns you have, how many rows you have in your data. So my case, I have 768 rows and 9 columns. Right, now if I just try to understand that the missing value things we will do later, because as we are actually running out of time. So in this case you can understand how to create the machine learning models. Okay, so there are few things we can talk about the data visualization. Now if I try to understand our data for how many percentage of people we have for diabetic and how many people we have for non-diabetic. So in this case what we can do, we can use a dot count plot from Seaborn. So dot count plot for Seaborn is basically going to give you a idea of how many data you have in your data set, where you have a diabetic patient, where you have the non-diabetic patient. So if you look at the graph, you can see there is a 0 is basically the non-diabetic patient, 1 is basically for the diabetic patient. Right, so in this case you can see the 0 is high, and you can conclude from here that you have a data set where you have a less number of diabetic patient than being diabetic patient. Right, so now if I just try to understand the heat map. So what is heat map? So basically we try to understand the correlationship between the variables we have in our data set. In that case we use .core function. Right, so if you look at this graph, you can see what actually we are going to get for each and every column you have in your data set. You try to understand, okay, so what is the relation between them, right? How much they are, related to each other. That's why we use correlation. Right, for time being you don't need to understand a lot. So basically if you try to like make a machine learning model out of it, for that just focus on here. We are going to import scikit-learn. So whenever we try to use any machine learning techniques, or we try to do any machine learning algorithm, right, or project, we use scikit-learn, because lots of there is lots of things, lots of features we have, lots of algorithm we have that is already implemented in scikit-learn. So in this case what we are going to take, we are going to take all the information in X, and for Y we are going to take only the outcome. If you can remember, outcome is nothing but the results. So we basically divided two parts. Right, we will divide our data set is train and testing. Now we are going to call a function called train test split. Here we are going to give X and Y, and we also give test size equals to 0.2. What is 0.2? This test size is basically 80% of your data will be used for training purpose and 20% of your data will be used for testing purpose. Right, the thing we were talking about. So when you do that, your machine will not have any idea about the testing data set. It will be completely new to your model. Now we are going to import logistic regression. So for importing logistic regression, you have to write scikit-learn.linear model import logistic regression. And if you just call logistic regression function, your work is done. Can you imagine? This is simple it is to start with machine learning with scikit-learn. And if you just write logistic regression, the variable you have called dot feed function if you use, and if you just put the x train and y train, your model will get trained. Can you imagine? Yes, after you train your model, you have to give the testing data set to test your model. So in this case, you can actually, if you give logistic regression dot predict and if you give the x test, only the informations, not the label, your model will try to find the label out of it. Right? When you see how your model is going to work, you can actually do the accuracy calculation. Right? So for this case, you can see my model is working 82.46 with accuracy with 82.46. Right? So this is how we actually do the, make our model in logistic regression. We can read our data, and also we can get started with a very simple machine learning techniques. Right? So we almost came to the end of the session, guys. I hope you like it, and please do let us know. We will love to hear from you guys that what you think, what are the new thing you want to learn from us. And please, it's my request to check face recognition using Python. It's also a very exciting project we have done. I think you will like it. Right? Please, if you like the video, then please do subscribe Great Learning, and also please like the video. Right? And don't forget to let us know what else you want to learn from us. Right? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next session. Thank you.